Grievance redressal under the breach is important. We have been talking about it, and now we are going to see what would happen or what generally happens after a grievance or after rather a breach. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you regularly see new content on privacy, and we are going to talk about handling grievances after a breach has happened. So why does grievance redressal matter? It matters because just a breach or just communicating or notifying a breach is not the end of it. In fact, just communicating could become dangerous also. But the moment you have communicated, there will be a lot of questions. There are a lot of concerns that people would have, especially principals would have, and then of course regulators will have. So the regulators, the DPDP Act expects your organization to be reachable, responsive and accountable if the breach happens, and handle the customer queries or principal queries very well. A breach creates a communication creates grievances, because the communication is, even if it is complete in all respects, still there would be some doubt in the name of the recipient of the communication, and you would like to get back and ask you what to do now. A legal basis of this redressal mechanism is because the fiduciaries are expected to share a point of contact and respond to all the concerns and queries, and therefore respond to a grievance system. Rule 7 of DPDP Act, we spoke about it earlier, requires a contact person, and therefore a inseparable grievance redressal mechanism is definitely required to handle a breach communication. Typical questions post breach: what was the cause of the breach? What data was breached? How did the attackers get in? When was the breach detected? How was it affected? Who all has been affected? Have we contained the threat, or is it still on? What are we going to respond to? What does it mean for the principal? Individual principal would ask you, what does it mean for me? What steps have you taken to stop it, to get it repeated? What all should I know? If my data is impacted, how do I contain or minimize the impact? And can I escalate it somewhere if I'm not satisfied with the response that I get? A grievance redressal flow, a sort of a flow chart. You receive a complaint, right? There's a complaint mechanism and you receive a complaint. One thing is that you should acknowledge it, right? If you think it's a valid complaint, acknowledge it. If you think it is not valid, even then you can acknowledge and say that, we don't consider your complaint as a valid complaint for this particular reason. Acknowledge, review, clarify, provide a response, do some investigations, again decide now based on the investigations whether it was a valid complaint or whether it was just a complaint. And if you find a valid complaint, give a resolution, a feedback. If you think it was not, give a feedback that it was not a valid complaint, right? Do a closure, do documentation, move on. You have to be timely. Delayed response, again, distrust. Over technical response, principals won't even understand. Defensive response means you are not sure. That means the situation is not under control. That means you are trying to hide something. So your response should be timely, clear, empathetic, and absolutely factual, irrespective of what all damage has been done or what all negative impact is likely to be. Common grievance handling failures: there are delays in addressing grievances. There's no clear ownership. People put in generic replies: we are trying to see, we are investigating, we'll let you know. They ignore any follow-up questions. They treat grievances as legal threats. Unclear, cumbersome process, poor communication, lack of empathy, incomplete, dissatisfactory resolution, consistent or inconsistent, unfair actions, and failure of a follow-up. Very, very poor internal coordination. Document what has been done, escalate as and when it is needed, record the grievance that you have received, the responses they have given. Recording includes the timestamps, resolutions, actions internal taken, because now you are talking about documenting internally, timeliness, escalate it internally if you don't have the complete answer to your own questions, which means you're not sure whether this issue could get repeated. Is there a permanent fix already done? Are you satisfied? You're not satisfied? Please escalate. This all protects the organization if the matter reaches the board. Nutshell summary: Breaches trigger communications, and I said earlier also communication can trigger grievances. Why? Because the communication clarity is very important. Documentation helps you protect trust and compliance. You should address grievances at the earliest, document them properly, track them properly, respond with complete empathy and professionalism, explain it transparently, accept your mistake, demonstrate what you have done to contain that mistake and to ensure that it does not get repeated. Learn from your grievances and improvise your system because DPDP expects responsive, structured grievance handling. That's about grievances after a breach has happened. We'll continue our discussions on DPDP Act. So stay tuned, keep subscribing my channel, keep watching my videos, and share your feedback, concerns, and queries in the comment section. Thank you.